I'm Jenny Eagle, reporter for Leah, and I'm here with Andy Allen, who is the director of Hoist and Winch. Andy, you recently partnered with a large distillery in Scotland. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we got a project to install 3 explosion-proof electric chain hoists, which we sourced from Italcrane in Italy. The selection of Italcrane was partly to do with delivery. They were able to offer us a 12 to 14 week lead time, which is within the requirements of the customer. And the other issue was headroom. There's a very tight headroom in that building, and other products on the market which were available in a similar lead time couldn't achieve that headroom. So we went with Italcrane and it's worked very well. Customers are very satisfied. Product equipment was supplied on time and performs the function very well, which is to essentially lift the lids off some vessels where they're distilling gin and some other general maintenance duties. So yeah, it's a good project. We were there for about a week in total, a day's travelling each way and then 5 days on site. So unfortunately the sun shone on us that week as well. So during the downtime, we were able to see the sights of Scotland and have a bit of fun as well as working quite hard.
Fantastic. Where was it in Scotland?
Near Firth.
Yeah. Perfect. So what other projects are you working on at the moment?
Hoist and Winch, really niche is project work. That's really where we're focused. We're finding the smaller value equipment is very price driven now in the market. I mean, you'll probably be aware that there's a lot of competition now with web sales. I mean, it's a lot of the lower value stuff is moving that way. So Hoist and Winch has always been focused on project work because that's partly my background, but it's becoming more so now because it's becoming more difficult for us to make a reasonable margin on the lower value stuff. So that's just simple chain hoist sales. Anything like that at the smaller end is quite tough now. So our focus is project work. So stuff that we've done recently, you may have seen, we did a winch for Warwick Castle and part of the Merlin group, and that was for tensioning a trebuchet, which is like an old-fashioned catapult that they used in sieges of castles in years gone by. So that was quite an interesting project. Customers very satisfied with that as well. What else have we done? We supplied and installed a 7.5 ton lifting beam for Berkeley Homes, which was fixed to the concrete ceiling of a plant room in a new block of flats in London. That was quite interesting and quite challenging. The lifting beam was supplied in 2 pieces with a bolted splice and was fitted with a 7.5 ton Tiger manual chain hoist in the end. That again was partly to do with headroom and partly to do with delivery and partly to do with cost. But that was quite an interesting project. We actually, to lift the beam up and mount it to the underside of the concrete ceiling, we used quite an interesting rigging system which actually involved, I think it was a total of 8 manual chain blocks. And effectively we attached the blocks to the ceiling, the concrete ceiling, and then underneath the beam we had effectively another lifting beam which then pushed up the beam into the face of the concrete ceiling, and then it was all sealed with resin anchors. Quite a lot of resin anchors, I seem to remember in the end. I think there's something like 30 odd resin anchors. So it was a lot of drilling, there's a lot of hard work, and to be perfectly honest, it took us a bit longer than we anticipated, partly to do with the difficulty in drilling the concrete ceiling, but also the site logistics were quite tough on that site. Sometimes we didn't get the access that we wanted when we wanted it, so we had to wait. But all in all, it was a good job, and we got 8 or 9 days in London out of it. So it was another trip with an added bonus of, apart from working very hard.
You're a member of Leah. How long have you been a member of the association?
Me personally, I've quite a long history with Leah because prior to working or being involved with Hoist and Winch, which is part owned by myself, I worked for JD Neuhaus for 10 years, and we were actually Leah members then. And I think at the time we were the only people in Leah that specialised in air-powered hoists. So there's some history there. Then when I left JD Neuhaus, we came away from Leah for a few years, and then we decided that it'd be a good idea for Hoist and Winch to be Leah members. It is a very good thing from a training point of view, but also from the profile of the business and the fact that the business is accredited by Leah I think is very helpful from a marketing point of view. So we've been with Leah now, I think we're in our 3rd year. I think we've been full members now for 2 years. So I think it took us about a year to get full accreditation. So yeah, about 3 years. But previously, we were members before, or I was members before.
Congratulations. And will you be attending LiftEx in London Olympia this year?
Yeah, definitely. We'll probably go for one day. We won't be exhibiting. Our main reason is just to see if there's any new products or innovations at the show, but also to network with any new people that we would like to get involved with or interact with. But also, been in the industry a long time now, so we know a lot of people that we see infrequently. So it's quite a good opportunity to meet up with old friends and old contacts and just see where we are and maybe do a bit more with them in the future.
So what's next for you?
What's next? Continue to improve continue to raise our profile and focus more on project work, which is where we want to go with the business. So yeah, we're constantly looking to get more press releases out there and really expand people's awareness of Hoist and Winch. We also do quite a lot of export business as well. It's about 25% of our turnover. That's something we'd like to do more of. It's interesting work. It broadens our horizons and also raises the awareness of Hoist and Winch, not just in the UK, but overseas. So that can only be a good thing for us.
Which countries are you exporting to?
We do quite a lot to the Middle East, but we have more or less covered, the vast majority of the world since 2009. And we've supplied South America, I'd say a lot in the Middle East, Eastern Bloc countries, Western Europe, Australia. And when we supplied special electric wire rope hoist to Vector, ended up in the Australian Navy, but that was through a UK company, but it ended up in Australia. So really, there's no limit on the export. What we find is it can be or is exchange rate driven. So when the pound is weaker, we do better. It's quite a price sensitive market, particularly if you're dealing through a third party, because there's somebody else's margin to cover as well as your own there. But yes, it's something we'd like to do a lot more of. We went to Dubai last year for a week and saw some customers, and I mean that's an absolutely booming market, and it's quite different to the UK. It's a massively growing market, which is, the UK is always been tough, I think. It's not an easy market. So that's one benefit of the overseas market. It's a different mindset and they're at a different state of progress to the UK. And if they're expanding or growing rapidly, then there's obviously more work to be had.
Interesting. Well, it sounds like you've got some more travel plans ahead there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the only thing that limits us on overseas travel is our need to, carry out the work in the UK and carry on with the day-to-day business and pay the bills. But yeah, I'd certainly, I always enjoy travel and I'd like to do more of it. Yeah, for sure.
Congratulations and thank you for your time, and we'll see you at LiftEx.
Thank you. Cheers, Jenny.